Welcome to Simply Liminal. My name is Stacy. This is my daily 2-card reading for Saturday, February 24th. Welcome in. This week we are looking at The Deep, Dark, and Dangerous Oracle by Stacy DeMarco, which is published out of Rockpool Publishing. One thing I haven't mentioned the other days that I've done this is Rockpool has an app. If you're interested in looking at some of the decks that come out of Rockpool Publishing, they have an app you can download, and it will go through their all their, not maybe all of them, but many of their card decks, and it will let you look at sample cards and kind of give you an idea what the decks are about. So if you're interested in this deck or in some other decks from Rockpool, that app is a great resource. So I'm going to continue to do a 2-card reading where I look at the energy and the focus of the day. Energy is the force that's directed towards us from the universe, from the world around us, and then our focus is our intention, our effort, or our response that we put into that. Because no matter what the energy is that's coming at us, we still have the ability to respond to it. And how we respond can really change the focus of our day. Look at this deck. It's just so gorgeous. It's a bit shiny, but this beautiful black and red coloring. And then there's red foil on the sides of these cards, and the artwork is stunning. So, before I start any of these readings, I open a circle of light and love and protection around myself. It's very important for me to establish that during these readings, and that a circle of light and love and protection extends to everyone who watches these readings, whether it's today, tomorrow, next week, or next year. I firmly believe that. I also firmly believe that whenever you come to this reading, whether it's the date that's posted on the video stamp or not, there is something in that message for you, and you are meant to learn something from that, or you are meant to come to these readings at that time. I truly believe that oracle cards are a way for us to connect with the divine, to connect with our spirit guides and guardians, to connect with our divine creator. And one of the reasons I wanted to go with this deck this week is because I strongly feel like shadow work is important. Shadow work isn't bad. Every one of us has both light and shadow within us. Shadow work isn't evil. It's not anything scary. It's kind of when we delve into our subconscious and we kind of understand why we sometimes respond with anger or sarcasm or aggression or manipulation. Like, delving into our shadow can kind of explain these things about us. And if we can learn those things about us, we can become better people for it. And so I use this deck for myself when I'm doing shadow work. And I think this time of year, I'm in the northern hemisphere, so between the fall equinox rolling through winter into the spring equinox, I believe we are physically in the shadow of the sun and symbolically also. And it is a great time to do shadow work and a great time to delve into a shadow deck. Okay, so let's look at the energy of this day. I will continue to read from these cards intuitively and then from the guidebook as well. Okay, and our focus. Okay, now we have this. And one of the reasons I like to work with a deck at a time is so we can get the energy of the deck. This is a deck. I do want to read what she has on the back here before we look at these cards. She says here, there is great beauty and power in darkness. What if, by stepping into the realm of the monsters and the things that go bump in the night, what seems twisted and dangerous is actually a torch leading us out of the darkness and into divine wholeness? Which is exactly what I believe. I believe if we work on those shadow aspects of ourselves, we come out brighter, we come out lighter, and that's an important part of our human development. So I'll read from these intuitively, and then I'll read from the guidebook as well. Now, I will tell you that she has a ton of information in these guidebooks, and I'm only reading a small amount of it, so these readings don't overwhelm us or take too much time. But if you're interested in this deck, please look into it. It's a gorgeous one. I think you'll be pleased. So our energy for today is love, which is interesting. This is the Kali card, but it says love. But look at her. She is fierce. Now, Kali is a Hindu goddess that is often associated with destruction. She don't take any crap off of anybody, and she would destroy the world if she needed to. So I find it interesting that Stacy DeMarco has picked love as the meaning for Kali, because I do believe that when she went on her rampages in mythology where she destroyed so much and really covered the world in blood, she did it because she loved the world and she loved people and she wanted them to be better, and she was trying to cleanse the world. But anyway, regardless of the myths or the stories that surround Kali, I think it's important that we focus on the love that this oracle card is sharing with us. So we have a heart back here. She is sitting in flames, and flame energy is powerful, creative, and strong. But there is a heart behind her. Now, she is also associated with death, so she's holding skulls in one of her many hands. But I think that this energy ultimately is of deep, abiding love, so strong that sometimes it almost can overwhelm us. That kind of intense love is the energy coming at us today. So let's read what the book says for her. Kali, which is the love card. It says, love isn't always pretty. Love is authentic and appreciates authenticity. Sometimes real love means you allow someone to make mistakes. Boundaries may be necessary to assist someone you love in the long run. Love is eternal. Acceptance and love can help you negotiate any transition, in particular, ones that you are afraid of and hesitant to make. And the duality aspect of this card is two things. She has fear versus love, and then being seen versus hiding. So I think the important thing to take away from that while this is love, as she says, love isn't always pretty. Love sometimes hurts. Love is painful. Lessons that come with love can be demanding and raw sometimes. But this is the energy coming at us. Anytime the goddess Kali is working with us, the energy is strong, very intense. So let's look at the focus that we're going to put into her energy today. We have the warning message. So we had this as the energy card, I think the first day of our readings, but this is the Kelpie card, and this is a warning. The Kelpie is something that is seen in Irish mythology or Scottish mythology, that Celtic kind of mythology, but it is basically, this has a horse, though I sometimes think of a Kelpie as a seal, a female that can transmute herself into a seal in the water. Anyway, let me read what the card says, but we have the energy of we have our response is going to be warning today. So maybe a warning to ourselves that this energy is strong coming at us. So maybe we're going to be overwhelmed by it, or we're going to overwhelm someone by it. Be cautious, focus, just be prepared, I guess, is the message I'm seeing here. So let me read what she has for this card. And one of the reasons I do like to use a deck for a week in a row is because we see repeat cards and we see repeat messages. And I think that's very important and tells us a lot about the week. So I will read just a little bit that she has here, a little more than I did before. It says here, a Kelpie is a shapeshifter, normally one that changes from its more monstrous form in the water into a land-based animal like a black horse. Pretty much every decent-sized body in water of Scotland has a Kelpie attached to it. I think of Kelpies as being associated with the oceans and seals, but obviously this is also talking about bodies of water like lakes, streams, rivers. And the Kelpie comes from the Gaelic word meaning kelpak, which means colt, which of course does tie to horses. So what the card says is, if you are given a warning, you should heed it. If someone shows you who they are, believe them. Understand your current limitations, yet extend your skills. Your intuition may be asking you to be aware of a danger. Pay heed. The duality message here is warning versus ignorance. So I'm not sure what this day has in charge for or in store for us, but I feel like it's going to be intense. So we need to be cautious and be warned that the energy coming at us, this divine love of Kali, isn't always pretty. It's sometimes strong, it's sometimes overwhelming, it's sometimes even a little bit painful. So just beware. My advice to you for this day is just to take a deep breath. If something challenging comes at you, especially if it's with someone that you love dearly, just take a deep breath. Blow it out, let it go. You might need to do that 2 or 3 times. And that will help us respond better to this day. I just want to say good luck to everybody for this day, including myself, because I'm part of this collective that I'm reading for. I hope you found this reading helpful. I hope you've connected with it in some way. I would love to hear what you're thinking about this deck, or if you've had any experiences with this deck. Please like, please subscribe, please share these readings. I would love to help this channel grow so I can help others bring these messages to others so they can see how important the messages of oracle cards are, and how I do believe that it is a simple way for our divine selves, our divine creator, our spirit guides and guardians to send messages to us. And so this is an intense day that's going to deal with love and maybe a little bit of a warning. So good luck. My name is Stacy. Thank you for visiting Simply Liminal with me.